Hi everyone, my name is Amanda, and today I'm going to be leading you through a restorative yoga flow. So for those of you who have never done restorative yoga, it's going to be more of a passive yoga practice that's done on the floor. You also can do this practice while in bed if you want. This practice intention is to help reduce mental and physical stress and anxiety. It's also meant to help promote healthy sleep cycles. So it's a very restful practice. What you will notice in restorative, our postures are held longer than normal. They can be held anywhere for 2 to 5 minutes long. Today what I'm going to be doing is showing you a posture, showing you different ways that you can get into the posture, and then allowing you to take what you learned from this video and hold them for as long as you want while doing the practice on your own. Each pose doesn't have to look exactly the same as what I show you. The intention is to feel it in the target areas and then to allow yourself to find stillness and rest in the pose. So your shape that you make today might not look the same as my shape or someone else's shape, but as long as you're feeling it in the right places, then you're doing it right. So in restorative yoga, you're gonna see that typically we use props. In a yoga studio, you're gonna see something like a yoga bolster, a yoga blanket, and yoga blocks. If you're doing this practice at home, you may not have those, and that's totally okay. Some things that you can use to substitute. So for a yoga bolster, you can just use a firm pillow. So if you have one of those on your bed, that's a great opportunity to use it for restorative yoga. If not, you can use one of those firm couch pillows that come with your couch. That'll be firm enough to use as a bolster. For a yoga blanket, instead just use your favorite throw blanket. You can fold it up however you want, giving you the thickness that you need. And then for blocks, if you have blocks at home, feel free to use them. But if not, you can substitute them with anything firm, maybe like a textbook, if you have a firm box, or anything that you can use to help stack and lift. You want to make sure you don't use anything like a cardboard box that could cave in. You want to use something that's supportive. So with that being said, I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you 4 poses today and allow you to take what you learned in this class and apply it to your restorative practice at home. I hope these postures bring you some peace of mind and peace in the body and soul. Thank you. So the first posture I'm going to show you for your restorative practice is going to be called supported fish pose. So my prop that I would suggest for this is going to be your bolster, so your firm pillow. What you're going to do is bring the sacrum area, so kind of where the spine and the lower back kind of meet the glutes, to the bottom of your pillow or bolster. You're going to let yourself recline onto your prop. The arms can fall out to the sides. It's going to give you a nice curve in the back. You can let the eyes soften. If this is intense on the back, you can also bend the knees and allow the feet to come wide, having the knees come in towards each other. You can hold this pose for 3 to 5 minutes. Some other variations you can use is maybe you give yourself a bit of an incline. You can bring any kind of block underneath, maybe propping it up slightly. Or if you want a greater back bend, you can also take a block under each end and lay back on it as well. For me, I personally like to take my bolster, lay on it, and then use my yoga blanket over me for comfort. So that's my variation, and feel free to modify that fish pose for however you please. So the next pose I'm going to show you for restorative yoga is going to be your child's pose. So again, I would choose to use the bolster or a pillow, and then I'd also keep a yoga blanket or throw blanket around and handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my thickness for the blanket to help set up for my child's pose. So child's pose, you're going to bring your knees wide onto the mat, or whatever space you're practicing on, and your big toes together. I like to bring the tops of my feet onto the blanket so they're not pressing into the floor. Then you're going to pull your pillow in towards your knees And then you're gonna lower yourself down, letting your favorite ear come onto the prop first. You can hold this for 3 to 5 minutes. I do suggest that you switch halfway through and let the opposite ear come onto the pillow or bolster. So you give your neck an even, nice balance in that twist. Some other variations you can do is you always can incline your bolster. So you can bring, again, another block and prop it up. Maybe 1 block, maybe 2, if that feels better for you. You also may bring the blanket underneath your knees if that gives you more comfort. So wherever you find your child's pose, let yourself settle in and enjoy. So the next pose I'm going to show you for restorative yoga is going to be called deer twist. So I like to use a bolster or a pillow for this. So what you're going to do is bring the side of your thigh and hip to the base of your prop. I like to bring my feet over to the opposite side. You're going to let yourself slightly twist towards the prop and lower down, bringing your ear onto the prop. Maybe you hug it in, enjoying this passive deer twist. You can hold on each side for 3 to 5 minutes. When you switch sides, you either can roll over and come down, or you can pick up the bolster completely and move it to the opposite side, setting it up, and then twisting and lowering down. You can always prop this up as well, maybe using blocks to give you a little bit of an incline. Maybe you'll use the blanket over your feet or legs if you like that as well. But those are a couple variations for deer twist. So the last restorative yoga pose I'm going to show you today is legs up the wall. It's a pretty simple pose and it's exactly what it sounds like. You're going to put your legs up a wall. So if you're doing this practice in your bed, you can always let your legs go up the headboard. You also can have them go up against the wall that your bed might be by. So what you're going to do is bring your legs up. How I like to do this is bring the base of my hips against the wall. As I begin to lower myself down, I kick one leg and then the other up, and then bring myself back. You can scoot yourself as close to the wall or as far from the wall as you please. The arms can come in any variation you want. Maybe you let them come to the sides. Maybe you bring them to the belly and allow yourself to focus in on your breathing. Noticing as you inhale, the tips of your fingers separate, and as you exhale, they come back together. Maybe you want to bring one hand to the heart, staying connected with your breath and your heart. Maybe you bring your arms out to a T or a cactus, opening up the chest. You can hold this pose for 3 to 5 minutes. If you are really enjoying this, maybe even for 8 minutes. Another thing that you can do to change this, if it's uncomfortable on your lower back or sacrum area and you need a little bit of an elevation, maybe laying on the floor is just a little uncomfortable, you can always bring a blanket underneath you. You also can bring a pillow or a bolster underneath your hips if that feels better, lifting up the hips off the floor. When you come out of this pose, walk the feet down by bending the knees, slowly supporting yourself with your hands, with your arms, roll to one side, and then allow yourself to come back up, moving slowly and mindfully through that transition. Thank you so much for watching my video on restorative yoga. Feel free to put on something comfy, maybe some pajamas or other comfy sweats that you have around the house, and do your practice. And again, feel free to modify or adjust any prop usage that you do. Take your time moving through the poses. Make sure you're comfortable in them and allow yourself to hold them for as long as you need, letting yourself de-stress, letting yourself connect with your breath, and letting your mind slow down during this practice. I look forward to doing restorative yoga again with you soon, but until then, namaste.